Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another episode of Inside DB Rated. This is the dual commentary series where we go ahead and spectate random matches on DB's ladder and just check out what people are playing. So this is going to be a match between Ladris031 on Zefra versus Flaming Ice on Virtual World. You guys have seemed to be enjoying Zefra quite a lot, so going to be featuring more games with it. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Looks like Virtual World going to be winning the RPS and opting to go first. Also, I have my mouse in a little bit of a different location, so hopefully the clicking is quieter. Let me know if there is any feedback you guys have for that. But the opening hand for VW is going to be Desires, Lao Lao, Gigi, Ash, and Lulu. Really strong hand for sure. Lots of VW names, some of the best ones. And a defensive card as well as Desires, so super strong. And then the opening hand for Zefra is going to be Oracle Zefra, Numeron Network, Zefrashi, Terraforming, and Providence. This hand is a lot of field spells. I think, if I'm correct, most builds that I play in the network package are only playing one field spell. But this is actually interesting because even though there's no hand traps to stop VFD, you can put up Zexal, and that's pretty good. So main phase, they're going to activate Pile of Desires. That's going to banish 10. And then draw a couple cards here. Picks up Gamma and Desires. So let's see if Driver was banished. Banishes are Chuche, Callby, Tactics, Qinglong, Itali, Lulu, Lily, Ash, Lily, and Nian Yan. So no Driver banished, even though there's no hand traps, so I guess it's not relevant. But yeah, not going to really be super helpful right here. Go normal summon the Gigi, and then activate Lulu effect. That's going to send Qinglong, summon itself, and then search for Chuche. And then going to use the Qinglong right here. So that's going to add another copy of Gigi. And then get rid of Pod Desires. And then from here, going to use the Gigi effect. That's going to target a monster to send Chuche. That's going to summon itself. And then going to Synchro Summon for a Coral Dragon, actually. I guess needing the Tuner Synchro there. We rarely see this come up, actually, in turn 1. But then going to Synchro those away for a copy of Shen and then trigger Coral Dragon to draw. That's going to draw Qinglong, which is decent, because up until this point, there were no non-monster VWs to target, so there was no way to get anything such as Nian into graveyard. So that's going to benefit Lao Lao here. Activate Qinglong and then use Lao Lao to target the Qinglong, I would assume, yeah, by sending the Nian. Summons itself and then brings back the Gigi. And then Nian gets a trigger as well. So gonna Synchro away for Stardust Charge, gets banished from Shen. And then Stardust Charge draws another copy of Gamma, so not the greatest. And then Nian also was cycled. I didn't actually catch what that was. It was a banished Qinglong. Definitely fair. Going to go for Chuche next. That's going to modulate Lao Lao by reducing it by 3. And then going to overlay for a copy of Croc. Croc will get another draw here. Picks up the third copy of Gamma. Ouch. That's a rough one. Yeah, just all dead cards. But still goes into VFD. And ends on Chuche as well. And then end phase gets add back with Gigi. So that's going to bring Lulu back from graveyard. And then pass. For turn, the top deck is going to be Zefra. So this is actually not too bad. For sure. Because again, just set up a Zexal. And that's pretty decent. Going to activate Oracle of Zefra. That's going to search for a copy of Zefrath. Plus there will be scales and decent setup for next turn. Going to activate Providence next. That's going to grab a copy of Zephyr War. And then going to go for VFD here, calling Earth, which makes sense, because this triggers when it's destroyed too, so maybe just trying to play around the destruction effect to prevent other searches. Plus most of this deck is Earth. Gonna scale Zefrashi and Zefrath. And then Zefrath effect is going to place a copy of Zefra into the face of extra deck. And then from here, going to Pendulum Summon. Looks like just one. Then going to use Zephyr War. And going to hit the back row, which we know is Chuche since it was searched via Lulu. Which definitely needs to happen since Network has to be forced through. If Network doesn't resolve, then it's going to be game. So, yeah. Chuche going to be fired off in response. It's going to pop the Zefrath. Providence can't protect the turn it was sent to the graveyard. That's why it can't be banished here. And then going to resolve by shuffling back Chuche and Qinglong. And then Terraforming going to be activated next. That's going to be Ashed. And then going to go for another copy of Numeron Network. That's going to, or not another, but a copy of Numeron Network. And that's going to send Calling and then summon out a bunch of gates to go for, I would assume, Zexal. Yes, and from there, that's just gonna be a pass. So this is a very nice reprieve. It's only gonna be a one turn safety net because this can just attack over it, but that's definitely good since we have scales for next turn too. So Zephyr actually not out of this game. In standby phase, we're gonna use the Zexel here, and then they're gonna just switch VFD to attack, and then go battle phase, attack over the Zexel, and then main phase 2, set the Kowloon. That'll be good for next turn. And then for turn, they're going to pick up a copy of 9 Pillars. That's actually a really strong draw because it's going to help beat the VFD since we can scale and then like pen summon. And even though like this will be denied by the VFD, it can trigger next turn once it gets destroyed by the 9 Pillars. So this is actually a really strong top deck. I'm going to scale Zefra, and then on that scale, going to use the VFD calling the Earth, the whole Earth. But no, going for Zefra here as the pendulum summon, then setting the copy of 9 Pillars, and then passing. For turn, going to draw a copy of Droll. Lots of hand traps are just dead right now. Going to activate Kowloon. Gonna actually let that resolve, so that's going to go for Chuche. And then going to activate Lulu. And that's going to be negated by the 9 Pillars. So it shovels back and then destroys the Zefra, which triggers here. So I wonder if the search is going to be for another copy of War for Disruption or Providence for next turn. I think you have to go for War because there's still Shen and you don't know any of these cards in hand. Granted, they're all dead. But if there's any VW name, you need to find a way to stop it. Yeah, I'm going to go for War, definitely. And then here, thinking quite a bit. All right, gonna go for Shen by banishing Coral and Ash. And then go into battle phase, gonna attack for 58. And then Shen gets to put back the Nian. There's maybe a world where if you're reading that the search is gonna be War, you could like Chuche pop your own Qinglong. And then get a search and then like at least force the War. Then you could... there's not really anything to normal summon though that would have done it, because this Nian wasn't in grave at the time. If it was, it would have actually just straight up in game there. But yeah, just going to pass here. For turn, we're going to see a top deck Zephyr Path. So this actually is not that great against VW. It does deny Nian and Lalo to some extent. But yeah, all the VW is obviously summoned from hand. But it's still decent, I guess. Gonna pendulum summon the Zefra here, and then use the effect that's going to grab a copy of Divine Strike. So running through quite a lot of the back row. Also notably multiple copies of War, which I think is pretty good. Gonna drop Droll and Resolution, which is totally okay. Gonna activate Zephyr Path here, and then set Divine Strike, and then pass. Okay. Gonna go to battle phase and then attack with Shen. And then Providence is gonna save it and then gonna attack VFD. Gonna actually let it go. The effect is gonna still trigger here, however, that's gonna grab another copy of Oracle of Zefra. I was just thinking because I mean this was clearly just because, you know, they were gonna die if they didn't protect with Providence. But I was just wondering if there was maybe a world in which you war to keep this alive. Probably not though. I think you hold it for whatever is targeted with a VW, but drawing a Qinglong for turn, just not finding any of them. Main phase 2, gonna pass. And then gonna draw Zephyr and Pilica for turn. Are there any in grave? No. Gonna activate Oracle of Zefra. That's gonna add Zefrashi. And then Zefrashi going to be pen summon alongside Zephyr and Pilica. So that's gonna turn these Pilica into a tuner. And then going to go for Metaphys Horus. So that effect is going to steal. So Horus, second effect to negate as Chainlink 1. Horus effect 3 as Chainlink 2. And then Oracle as Chainlink 3 to stack. And this does not target the monster to steal because your opponent gets to choose. It does target the face-up card in the field. Yeah, that should be banished because of Shen. So gonna give over the Shen and then negate Chuche. Yeah, it was really hard. Like, there was not ever a great opportunity to use Chuche because this war was just in hand the entire time. Yeah, it was kind of not a great situation. Okay. What is happening here? Let's see. Going to use Chuche right now. I'm not sure what this no effect is here. Like I'm not sure what that's referring to. And I think this Chuche is being chained in response to the Oracle. That was kind of I don't really know what happened with the chain there, because I feel like that should have been later. Also should be banished because of Shen Shen. Yeah, that was a little bit confusing, just the way they resolved that chain. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. But yeah, gonna go into the Sheridan. This is a really cool card. Sheridan effect is going to get rid of the VFD and then not actually opting to summon it. Yeah, because you have to detach and you definitely don't want to give them back Shen Shen. Gonna attack for 26 and then pass. So there's still a negation left here. For turn, gonna draw a copy of Nian, which is decent, but that doesn't trigger the Nian in graveyard. Yeah, actually, it wouldn't have mattered if Shen Shen was back in grave here because of the Zephyr path. This is a really interesting game. Qinglong effect that's gonna banish Nian to negate the Sheridan, and then Nian gonna recycle. Let's see what was put back. I didn't see. It was a Chuche, and then gonna set the Nian and pass. Okay, so it looks like VW is just running out of resources. For turn, the top deck's going to be Upstart. That's going to grab the Pathfinder. Right, yeah, so that wasn't stacked because the War destroyed the Oracle before it got a chance. So, all right, so I'm assuming what happened the previous turn was Chuche was supposed to be chilling forward, even though they already were resolving Metaphys Horus, because the Shen Shen was already changing control. So that kind of confused me, but I think that's what ended up happening there. But gonna notice on the Planet Pathfinder, and then gonna hit over the Nian and then attack for 1,000. And then main phase 2, going to search for a copy of Oracle of Zefra. And then activate Oracle, that's gonna grab Zefranyu. And then gonna Pendulum Summon the Zefranyu. There was a bit of lag there. Gonna go for Zephyr Providence. And then Providence gonna search War. So 3 copies of War here. So yeah, we have a pop and a negate. And no other disruption to float into. Gonna draw a Gigi for turn. I'm not really sure what you can do here. There's just not anything to do. I think VW just loses this game. Yeah, gonna pass. Gonna draw a Zephyr Pilica for turn. That's quite nice. Yeah, just without the Zefrath, it was harder to get like resources into the extra deck here. But gonna normal it, and then a link for a copy of Cyframe Lambda, and then going to Pendulum Summon them back, and that's gonna just be the end of game 1. So Zefra actually taking it past the entire Virtual World combo. I mean, drawing 3 dead Gammas definitely didn't help there, but it was nice to see that Zefra definitely able to grind here. So Zefra takes game 1. Moving to game 2, Virtual World going to be going first again. If you guys are enjoying this video, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this style. But the opening hand for Virtual World is going to be Chuche, MST, Nian, Hcabe the Grave, and Lalo. This is a very interesting one. Curious as to why this is being played over like Cosmic. Especially because like even though Eldritch isn't one of the best decks, it's still popular. And then even in the mirror, I think you would most likely want Cosmic. It does feed, I guess, Chuche, but all the traps and spells float anyways, so like they can feed it themselves. I don't know. It seems interesting, but this hand is awkward actually, in terms of comboing. It's playable though. And then the hand for, oh gosh, Zephyr is Thubin, Zefrashi, 9 Pillars. I said oh gosh because I saw the D shifter, and then the Numeron Network. So that is going to be a killer for this turn. Samurai Faye is going to drop Dimension Shifter just to play around triple tactics, but then get a chain call by. Yeah, definitely needed that for sure. Otherwise, this hand was just unplayable. I guess you could like make weird plays. Well, actually, no, there's no way to make Chuche live with that. But yeah, gonna no summon Nian, and then go for Lala targeting the Nian, and that's gonna send Qinglong to summon itself. And then Qinglong effect is going to search for a copy of the Lulu, and then going to ditch the Chuche From here, going to go for a copy of Shen, and then going to activate Lulu next. That's going to target the Shen, sending another Chuche to grab a copy of Kowloon. Okay, I don't know why he said Psy there, but okay. Anyways, Nian gonna trigger here. And then Chuche going to modulate, reducing the Shen by 3 to go into Cloud Castle, and then bring back the Shen, and then overlay for VFD. And then gonna set Chuche and MST and pass. Didn't activate Gigi, yeah. All right, this turn... Actually, I just realized Network was drawn again. I literally didn't even notice that, but could literally do the same play if there's a way to force out the Chuche. But there's also the MST, and I don't think there's a way to actually force out either here. Draws a copy of Zephyr Wendy. VFD going to be calling Earth. Going to scale to, and then activate Numeron Network. That's going to feed the Chuche. Shuffling 2 back, and then going to set Thubin and set 9 pillars and pass. End phase going to MST, and just going to be the end of game 2. Yeah, definitely, there was a Qinglong Grave from the Lulu last turn, so VW was winning that game. But we're going to go ahead and now move to game 3. So it looks like we're going to have Zefra go first. So Zephyr's opening hand is going to be Oracle Zefra, 9 Pillars, Zefrashi, Planet Pathfinder, and Gamma. This hand is pretty interesting, because I know like a lot of the combos involving Pathfinder are you go Gravity Controller after you summon out your Zefranyu, and then you activate Zephyr Path to shuffle the Gravity Controller back. Then you normal this and go for the Numeron stuff. So, yeah, we learned about this the last time this deck was showcased. So, this hand looks to be quite strong, provided no interruption. And then the VW hand is going to be Pankratops, Kowloon, Ash, Lulu, and Chuche. So there's an interruption here. Depends on when it's used, because Zephyr is known for playing Gamma, so you have to be careful always with this card. But this hand's also good on the VW side of things, because Kowloon Lulu is like one of the best combos in the entire deck. Gonna normal Pathfinder first. Alright, so gonna lead with it. And then that's gonna resolve grabbing a Numeron Network. So we're going to be having Zexel in the field pretty much no matter what. Oracle Zefra, that's going to go and grab Zefrath. Yeah, skipping a step there. But not a big deal. Going to activate Zefrath next in the scale, and that's going to place the Zefranyu face up. And then going to scale Zefrashi, and then go for New. That's going to search for probably the Providence, I would figure, but that's going to get ashed. Still not bad. Oh, but yeah, actually, now that actually is bad, because that denies the whole Gravity Controller play I was talking about, so now this network is off. But to be fair, there's still 3 interruptions, potentially, because this can negate, this can grab War, and that also clears the field for Gamma. So this is actually deceptively still strong. Going to draw Gigi for turn. I wonder how Pankratops is going to interact here. Going to special Pankratops, and then use the effect that's going to hit the back row. Going to chain 9 pillars. I don't think it gets shuffled into the deck because it moved locations. I could be wrong about that, though. Oh, okay, not even using it. All right, okay, yeah, just not using it. Oh, yeah, yeah, it's the same thing as Hcabe versus Ash, because Hcabe doesn't banish the Ash if it negates it, since, again, it moves locations. All right, so my intuition was right there. So, yeah, because it can't shuffle into the deck, it can't destroy Yangzing, so, like, this would stay on the board. So that actually wiped away the War interaction and the Gamma interaction. So I think VW wins this game. Going after a Kowloon, that's going to place Chuche face up. And then going to Lulu, target the Chuche, that's going to send Qinglong, summon itself, and then search out for Olawao. And then going to go for Qinglong, that's going to search for Lili, and then get rid of the Chuche. And then Lili effect, that's going to target the Trap, and then send Qinglong Nian, summon itself. And then going to go for Gigi next, that's going to target a Trap, or target the Chuche, sending a copy of the Lulu. And then Nian gets a trigger here as well. And then going to Chuche to raise Gigi by 3. Going to synchro into Shen. And then going to go for Vermilion. Vermilion effect, going to go for Lulu. Or banish the Lulu. I wonder what the pop is going to be. It's going to be Zefrath, and that should be banished. Chuche. Chuche is going to be Chainlink 2 because this misses timing. So, yeah, this will get destroyed after this, or before this gets destroyed, rather. I don't know why I said after. But yeah, this will miss timing, so it can't trigger. Gamma will still be alive, though. So that could actually matter. So I do wonder if Flaming Ice is going to play around the Gamma. Oh. Okay, alright. This is very confusing, just the way that things are happening in chat this game, or this entire match. I've just been confused by reading it. But it's Chainlink 1 Vermilion, Chainlink 2 Chuchi. That's how it was supposed to be. Yeah. You definitely don't do it the other way around, otherwise it still gets a trigger. Alright, so gonna go to battle phase and attack for, this is 55, I believe. And then going to Shen effect, that's going to put Nian back in your grave. And then going to overlay for VFD. VFD effect, that's going to call light. And then a Lao effect, that's going to target Chuche to send the Qinglong and then bring back Gigi. And then go for Cloud Castle. Bring back Vermilion. Vermilion gets to banish Ash to pop the Zefrashi. And then go for VFD. I wonder if it's going to be the same story where Network's going to be enough. I mean, there's no scales here now, so it's definitely a lot worse. There's never Providence engraved to protect stuff. Gigi gets to add in the end phase. There's a Qinglong engraved. There's Nian engraved too. Is Chuche live? Yes. Yeah, this seems like too much, even with like this hand, which is pretty decent. But I've been surprised before. Gonna end phase, grab back Lulu, and then draw as a Frath return, which is not horrible, but you have to contend with the double VFD. So the first one will get Gamma, and then the second one will call Earth. So Gamma and Driver come out. Gonna scale as a Frath, and then going to go for Zefranyu. Definitely have to clear these because of the network. So yeah, Labris needs to be playing Omega here. But no, looks like it's gonna be a game. Even if Omega was here, it wouldn't matter because you let it go and then you just Chuche pop the network. That's fine. Like, because you don't care about this being banished since whatever your top deck can be pitched for Qinglong anyway, and then just full combo, and then that's it. So that was a pretty interesting match. Zephyr actually putting up a very, very strong fight against VW, but VW ultimately clutching it out. The game one was really interesting, just that Zephyr was able to grind past the VFD. Was really, really cool to see that. But yeah, a couple of like weird things happened where I just got confused. Maybe I was just not thinking clearly. But like the whole play with the Chuche in game 2, where was it? Yeah, with like the Horus effect right here. Like I was very confused on that because like I thought the Chuche was being activated on a new chain when it was already being negated by the Horus. But it turns out it was in the same chain, even though Horus is already being resolved since the Shenshen changed control. So I don't know. I was just very, very thrown off by that. But hopefully it still made sense in the commentary. Probably not. But if you guys did stay to the end of the video, do appreciate that. Hopefully that'll clear things up. Maybe some people in the comments will like listen to that and then make a comment and then not stay till this part of the video. But if that happens, you guys can just you guys can defer people to the end of the video here. But that's going to be it, guys, for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive video content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me via Patreon or TCG Player. All the links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.